Hello and welcome to our 10 at 10. Today's August 3rd, 2023. Today we're going to talk about staying positive, right? I started this conversation last week in one of our 10 at 10s, and we had the quadrant, the high and low energy and the positive and negative energy. And which quadrant you're in is really important. So we talked about player mentality and victim mentality. Player mentality, you're on the positive side of the spectrum, right? You're in these two quadrants, high positive and low positive. High positive, requires a lot of energy to stay in. And so nobody can stay high positive all of the time. You need to, have some low positive time as well. And victims, however, stay in the negative side, right? Either they're high negative or low negative, but either way, it's a bad spot to be in, and it's a bad spot to stay in for extended periods of time. And some people actually live their whole lives there. Now, players, right, on the positive side, they're high and low, but sometimes things happen and it causes them to have a negative perspective or negative energy. and it's important that we have tools to get back into the positive, right? And there's tools to help us go from low to high. One of the tools to go low positive to high positive is to have a ritual. So what I mean by that is, if you've ever watched The Office, right? Dwight Schrute and Jim, right? They go on this sales call, and I don't know why they were working together, but they were, right? And Jim got out of the car and Dwight's like, I need a couple minutes, right? And he blasts the radio and he's headbanging in the car, getting ready to go on the sales call. And that's a good example of a ritual, exactly what I'm talking about. He's going from low energy or low positive to high positive. And he had that ritual that he did every single time before he went on a sales call. And it doesn't always have to be music, but music is a good one. One of the things that I personally do before sales calls, and actually before most meetings that I'm about to, interact in, is I'll stop for a couple of minutes and I'll think about what I'm trying to accomplish in that meeting and what might be said and how I can, explain myself in a particular way. Sometimes I'll even practice what I'm trying to say before the meeting. And that helps me go from low positive to high positive. Then I go into that meeting with confidence and I'm ready to rock and roll and so on and so forth, right? So that's one thing that we're talking about. The other thing is, when you are caught in this negative side of the grid, one of these negative quadrants, how do we get back over to positive? So one of the strategies to counteract that, right, is gratitude. If you're caught up thinking about this negative event that just happened and you start thinking about something positive, it's going to bump you over into the positive side. And if you can focus on things that you're grateful for, in my case, I thank God for people all the time. It's how I start my day, right? I have such great family, such great friends, such great realtors, such great clients, such great people in my life. And that's how I start every day. And that helps me, like I say, stay on that positive side. So if you can think of something you're grateful for, maybe it's your kids, maybe it's your pets, maybe it's your animal, maybe it's who knows what it is, whatever you're grateful for, you think about that, and that's going to push you back over to the positive side of the quadrant, right? Exercise is another good thing. If something bad happens and you're focused on that, if you go for a walk or get on the treadmill and go run for a bit or go biking or swimming or whatever the heck you like to do, it's going to take your mind off of it. It's going to increase your energy level, and it's going to push you over to that positive side of the quadrant. Music is another good one. Sometimes just go headbang for a little while and it'll bring your energy level up and kick you over to the positive side. Nature, go for a walk in nature, go fishing, go sit in a tree stand, go do whatever it is you like to do in nature. Maybe it's kayaking or stand-up paddleboarding or just sitting by the water. Sometimes that helps. Let's see, one of these other ones is learn. You could take a class or read a book or learn something new. Again, it just shifts your focus from something negative over to something positive. Escape, go to a ball game, go to a movie, go hang out with your friend or something like that. Hang out with positive people. Remember, misery loves company. So sometimes when we're caught in this negative rut, we look for people that are already in that negative rut to like go hang out with, because misery loves company. But if we go find somebody positive, and I used to do this all the time with Robin. Robin's one of the most positive people I know. And anytime I was feeling down or something negative happened at work, I'd go grab my cup of coffee, go hang out with Robin, and I knew she'd flip this script and push me back over here. Jamie does that to me now all the time too, but it really, really does work. Mentors and coaches, sometimes when I'm struggling with something, I do reach out to the other brokers, my other business partners, friends that, can kind of relate to what I'm going through and help me, point me in the right direction and get me back on that positive side of the spectrum. When you are caught in that rut with like negative energy, right, low or high, there's traps you want to avoid. You don't want to fall into the traps of drugs or alcohol. Food and shopping are two other ones, right? And we might feel like they're less destructive, but what they do is they keep us over in this negative quadrant, right? When you go out and you eat too much or you spend too much money, then you're feeling guilty and shameful that you just did more self-destructive stuff and all of that stuff. So really, avoid the traps, use one of these other techniques to push yourself back over into that positive quadrant, and your life is going to go better. Your business is going to go better. Your clients are going to react to you better. The realtors you're working with are going to react to you better. Probably your spouses, even your pets know when you're down, right? When you have a smile on your face and you have a little bit of high energy, it's amazing. Like Lola, she can tell she's excited and dancing around too, not to mention your kids. So anyhow, hope this helps. Yeah, have a great day and do your best to make today awesome.